Hello, my loves. Welcome to day one of my vacation. Today I am at Clearwater Beach. This is the first vacation I've had in over a year, so I'm very excited. By vacation I mean I'm off for my second job. I'm still on my first job, but I work remote for my first job, so I get to work from the beach today. I am at Clearwater Beach. You'll see the B-roll and the better angles throughout the day.
It's editing me. You're gonna see me a couple of times throughout this video, but I had 2 weeks vacation, and in this first week I was honestly just chilling and doing nothing. Going to the beach is the most exciting thing that I did, but then I decided to take a road trip up to New York City to go and see my niece graduate high school and get the rest of my stuff and help my friend prepare for her baby. So very quickly after this, we're gonna jump into me driving, and the rest of the video is gonna be this road trip. I just wanted to include the beach day because this was such a beautiful beach and I had so much fun while I was here. But enjoy, because we're going to do lots of reading and lots of driving.
Trip to New York City from Florida, and I'm going to New York because my niece is graduating high school and my best friend is having her baby in just a few weeks. So we are on a road trip across the east coast of the US. I have been on the road at this point for about 3 hours, just under 3 hours, and I have just now, or am about to, cross into Georgia. This is the first little bit of traffic that I've run into, but I'm splitting this road trip up into 2 days. So day one is today. That is about 8.5 hours of road tripping, and then tomorrow will be the final 8.5 hours. I am staying overnight in Raleigh, North Carolina, which I have always wanted to see, so I'm very excited to be staying there. But I'm going to be listening to audiobooks for a big portion of this trip. Not the entirety of this trip, because sometimes audiobooks overstimulate me, so I feel like if I was just constantly listening to a story, I would feel overstimulated. But it has been great so far. Just had a bit of breakfast on the road. I have my coffee, which I'm almost done with, and it's been really pretty so far. I have never done a road trip this long. I think the longest I've driven has been about 6 hours. So 6 hours to 18.5 hours is a big jump. Yes, I am doing this alone, but I'm excited. I'm excited to listen to some audiobooks. I have been in a reading slump, and the really annoying kind where nothing that I pick up is hitting for me, even though I've been desperate to read. And this is my first vacation. It's my first vacation in like a year and a half. I've had 2 weeks off. This is my second week off, so I'm taking this week to spend the time with my family, to go see my friends, and to gather the rest of my stuff, which is why I am driving to New York as opposed to flying. That, in addition to the fact that flights at the end of June are fucking insane with their pricing. So road trip across the US. I will update you when we make our first stop. By we, I mean you and I. There's no one in this car. It's just me and you. So when we make our first stop at the gas station, because I will need to go and get gas in about 30 or so miles. Pit stop done. All right, let's get back on that road to North Carolina. We do go, with potentially a stop in Savannah. I am then kind of hungry, but I don't plan to eat till 1, and it's about 11 a.m. for reference. Perfect. $25 for gas. And that was my first fuel up for the trip officially. I fueled up yesterday. Yes, I do want a receipt, period, queen. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to read. I have a ton of options, but you will know what I'm going to read when we make our next stop. So I will see you in a little bit, and it's a racetrack in Georgia. We are in South Carolina now. I am just outside of Charleston, I believe.
There's a lane closure ahead.
that explains the traffic that I am in. I'm going to make my next stop in the next like 45 minutes or so, and that's going to be a lunch stop. But I want to let you know that the audiobook that I chose was Dream on Ramona Riley. I was already halfway through that book, but as I said at the beginning of this video, reading slump where I've been picking up everything and nothing has been working. I am towards the end of this book, meaning I am reaching the third act conflict period. I can't say I'm surprised because this story and this relationship starts with a manipulation, and of course that is now blowing up in everyone's faces. But my thoughts right now are that I'm just not rooting for them. I don't think that they should be together, and that's difficult. Like, I'm not against them being together. I just don't understand fully why they would be together. But this book is very, very steamy. So if you're like looking for spice, this is the one I would tell you to read, or one of the ones I would tell you to read, because they spent a solid like 25 minutes in this audiobook fucking for real. And apparently Dylan's real good at it. Real good at it. But yeah, I'm at the scene now where they're about to have their like big blow up fight, and I know exactly what's going to cause it, and I know from the beginning that that was going to be the third act conflict. I don't have a ton of feelings about this. I can only say that for some reason the characters kind of irritate me. I don't know why. Something about the characters irritate me, and it's reminding me of when I read Delilah Green Doesn't Care, because I felt the same way then too. I liked Delilah but didn't like anyone else, and in this one I'm having the same experience, except that both Ramona and Dylan irritate me. Not in the way that I think that they're bad characters, but they are just so human, which sounds like a criticism, and it's not. They're so human that they seem like the kind of people that I perhaps would not be friends with. With that said, I am going to sit in this traffic here in South Carolina for a little bit longer, and I will see you when I pull over for my lunch stop. Okay, and now we're only an hour and a half outside of Raleigh. I'm about to hit the road again, but I want to let you know that I did finish Dream on Ramona Riley. I am giving it 3 stars. I really like the epilogue of the story, but it was predictable. I didn't love the characters. I liked the setting though of the small town in North Carolina, I think is where they're at. That was super cute. It was very spicy. If you liked the spice of it, I thought it was very well done. But I've never had complaints about Ashley Herring Blake's spice and how she writes spice. But yeah, it was fine. And that's my only thought about it. And the next book I'm reading now is Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson for the final an hour and a half of this portion, or today's road trip. Tomorrow we got another 8 hours or so to go, so we'll continue from there.
Different. She just once picked up her phone and texted to say, hey, thinking of you, let's hang out.
So fucking exhausted for the obvious reason that I just drove for 8.5 hours. I'm going to literally watch TV and crash, and that is the plan for the night. But I did make it through the first, I think, 10 chapters of Never Been Shipped on the little last quarter of my road trip. Not even a quarter, the last little bit of my road trip. I hate Ryder. I hate him so much. He's literally every romance hero villain where, that makes sense. Romance hero villain? Every romance villain where he's just egotistical and self-absorbed, yet somehow is the victim in every circumstance ever in his own mind. But I think that John and... damn, I forgot her name. I want to say Riley. I want to say Dylan. I know neither of those are correct, but I think that they have really sweet chemistry. I'm curious to see like what exactly went down that led to our FMC going solo and essentially buying her own band out of their gig, but I am really enjoying it so far. So that's my reading update. I will read again tomorrow. I probably will not update you again tonight just because this isn't a solo situation. I'm like in someone's home. So I'll see y'all later.
Oh, here you are, face to face in this trashy bar. Another glass and I am going places. Makes me laugh about the irony of everything. I like the way you're thinking. I don't really care about the music on the dance floor. I don't really mind all the smokers in the bathroom. I don't care at all, baby, you got my attention. So you were saying, oh no, I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me. Times another drink and I'll go anywhere. The way you smell, like a flash in the universe.
Okay, we've officially hit our first little bit of traffic for day 2, the final day of this little road trip, which makes sense. It is 8 a.m. on a Monday and we're on the I-95, which is cutting through Richmond. So obviously Richmond is a major city and people are commuting to work, which is why we're running into traffic, although traffic is not as bad. The current ETA for New York City is about 2:40 p.m. That is another 6 hours and 40 minutes from here. It always trips me up because for some reason this portion of the trip is 100 miles less than the one from Florida to North Carolina. Yeah, it is also like an hour longer. I'm assuming that's because of traffic, but it also just could be the roads that I am taking. Like, I am not going for the Lincoln Tunnel. That's not fucking happening. Anyway, I obviously haven't read. I woke up at 5 a.m. I did not sleep well. I had lots of anxiety, but I did sleep and the bed was super comfy. Just, you know, anxiety. That means that I woke up at 5 a.m. and I was able to hit the road and be on my way out by 5:15. As you saw, we made one stop. And again, I keep saying we. It's you and I. Again, there's no one in this car. It's me and you. That's who's here. So I made the stop this morning, and that was to get gas, and thankfully at that gas station was also a Dunkin' Donuts, so I got a massive coffee and a donut. I don't know why I continue to get coffee. It doesn't energize me at all. I would say that I am as awake as I was before this coffee, which is fine. It's just a little 8-hour trip. We've got 6 hours and 40 minutes left. Will I read? Yes. I want to continue with Never Been Shipped, but I'm going to be so honest and say, what the fuck is his name? Ray something. I don't know. In Never Been Shipped, the ex, he's so annoying. He is so annoying. I'm like, sir, please do us a favor and fall overboard, get amnesia, and become a good person. He can have his own little spin-off novel, you know? He could fall off the cruise and go away from this story, and then maybe we can come back to him in a little novella where it's an overboard retelling. That's not going to happen. But I don't like this man. I hate reading about icky men. Thankfully, the actual love interest in this story is just like really sweet and kind. But I don't know. The thought of hearing this man speak is annoying me. But I will continue. Traffic has officially cleared now, mostly. So I'm going to continue to be on my way. All right. Stop earlier than anticipated, but that's primarily because
Head southeast toward Austin Park Drive.
Yes. I needed I needed cash for the toll to enter New York, but we are on the road again. I have exactly the amount of gas that I need to get to New York City, so the only other time I will stop is at 11:20 for my meeting. We're approaching DC, and I will let you know I am listening to Never Been Shipped, and oh my gosh, the self-awareness, because there's a line in here. Ryder is the one I don't like. He's Micah's ex, and honestly, honestly is so fucking self-absorbed. And while they're doing rehearsals, John, who's the actual hero of this story, is like, and Ryder continues to be every asshole stereotype he could be, and that's exactly what it is. Ryder is literally every asshole stereotype he could possibly fucking be. I hate this man so much. And there's this scene where they're like hosting bingo, because that's the whole thing, right? They're on this cruise ship because they are a band and they're like one of the hired talent for the cruise. So they're hosting bingo, and because Ryder and Micah used to date, but it was never officially confirmed when they were teens, the fandom kind of stands them, and it's like, yeah, this is my ship, my OTP. Meanwhile, they don't know the behind the scenes, and that Ryder is literally a fucking dick. Again, I stand by my statement, this man should fall overboard. Someone push him off this fucking ship. But he accuses Micah so often of being like fame hungry, but the second he gets the chance, he knows somewhere in his fucking convoluted ass mind that the fandom liked him because they liked him with Micah, and Micah being the lead singer of the band obviously has a lot of, I guess, face for the band, and he's trying to make it seem like he and Micah are together. And Micah, I swear to you, I just want her to punch this man in the fucking face. Please, Micah, just swing on him real quick. In fact, at night, push him off the ship and then blame it on a ship ghost. Like, I cannot stand this fucking man. With that said, road trip update, there's 5 more hours until we are in New York. 307 miles. I don't need gas again. That's going to fully get me to New York City. I'm gonna see y'all with the next update, and if I don't scream when I'm listening to this, it will be a fucking miracle. I am cackling. Micah is yelling at Ryder, rightfully, because he did in fact kiss her without fucking consent. Again, a dick. Hate him. And she's like, ugh, walks away, and then we're in her POV. And in her POV, she's like, I've got to sit here before I throw Ryder off this ship. And I'm like, girl, why would you resist that urge? Shove him off the boat. Just trip him real casually. Or better yet, why doesn't someone just like blow up his spot, if you will? Perhaps expose how much of a dick he is, because he is being loud and obnoxious, and I am really hoping that some fan records him saying the shit that he's saying and blows it up on the internet. I cannot stand this fucking man. But every update cannot be how much I hate Ryder. John is really sweet, and I hope that he also has the moment to stand up for himself and for Micah against Ryder. He is talking about that in his point of view and how he doesn't like confrontation, but also how many times he wishes he could punch Ryder in the face. And again, why would you resist that urge, baby? Knock this man the fuck out. You're fictional characters. What consequences? It's a fictional story.
Not been to spring up or anything like that. Nah, he said, you're fine.
You are illuminating. I don't really care about the people in the bar line. I don't really mind all the who goes doing stage dives. I don't care at all, baby. You got my attention. So you would say yeah. I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh, baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.
Joke. She was there for novelty and for some sex appeal, and in the end she couldn't even deliver that, huh? Funny how that works.
Fry 78 East, Port Allentown.
She punched him in the face!
She was shocked by how much her hand hurt, and yet how good it had felt. What the fuck?
leg of this road trip. I'm almost done with Never Been Shipped, but I'm about an hour and a half outside of New York City, and this is my final stop for the day. So I will not see you again until I get to the city, unless there's really bad traffic. But I'll see you in New York. I'm on my way back to Florida. Yes, it has been a week since I last saw you. First, I want to show you this view. She's very, very pretty. I'm also taking the opportunity to just like be outside of my car, stretching my legs. There's a graveyard in front of me and it is 8 something a.m. I just did the first 3 hours of this drive. As always, the stop is Raleigh, North Carolina. Why Raleigh, North Carolina? Because that's exactly halfway between New York and Florida. What is going on? Do you see that? Why is my camera adding this around my head? Like, that's not there. You can see it's passing right through it. But we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that and we're gonna go to get breakfast and a big ass fucking coffee because I'm tired. More gas has been acquired, even though I didn't need it. I honestly just needed to use the restroom, which I didn't need to get gas for, but I've got another like 300 miles, so I might as well fill up. I'm also right across from a Taco Bell, and I don't particularly like Taco Bell, but man, am I tempted to stop for a Baja Blast. The only reason I'm not is because I know if I got that big ass drink, I would need to stop again in like an hour to use the bathroom again, and I've got enough gas to get me through the next 3 hours at least, but it's about 6 more hours until I hit Raleigh. And if you're wondering, I've already been on the road for about 6 hours. So I'm gonna hit the point now where I'm gonna transition to an audiobook or a podcast while I do the last little bit of the morning portion of this drive. So I will see you at our next stop, where I will have no reading updates for you because audiobook time is not until the afternoon drive. I am just outside of Fredericksburg, Virginia. This is the first bit of traffic that I have hit today, and that's pretty great considering I've been on the road since 6 a.m. and it's just before 3 p.m. But I want to tell you that the audiobook that I chose for today's road trip is Smile for the Cameras. I believe it's a new release, although I have access to ALC, so I'll have to double check if that has already come out, and if it hasn't come out, when it's going to come out. I am enjoying it so far, but my initial thoughts and my initial critique is that it's a little heavy-handed because I like our heroine, but she keeps telling us there's a secret and I have a secret and it's the reason why I can't go back. No one can find out what this secret is, and everyone thinks that it's because of this, but it's not. It's actually because of something that happened there, and I don't deserve good things because I'm not a good person because the thing that happened at this set. I'm like, girl, you're giving the whole story away. You are giving everything away. I get it. She has a secret. So she was the star of like a horror film called Grad Night, and it was instantly became a classic, right? People adored it, and she was the final girl in that movie. But something happens on that set, and she's like has no interest in being part of that anymore, and has no interest in being part of like horror movies anymore at all because of what happened. And this is an example of how heavy-handed it is, and it can't be a spoiler because I'm so early in the book. It's literally told to us exactly like this. GradFest always made me nervous in case some drunken fan stumbled across something that they did not need to see. We're giving everything away. So that's my thoughts so far. I'm enjoying it, but it's very heavy-handed and trying to get the reader to know that there are things happening or that happened on that set. I'm like, sometimes you can just let the story unfold. Update, we are getting into the thick of the story of like what's actually going on here. So we're having dual timelines, one where the timeline is when they were originally filming the movie, and the second timeline is now when they're filming the reunion for the movie. And all I have to say is that Cole is a creep. The very first scene that they film on the movie, like the original movie, is the scene where Ella and Leo are having sex for the first time. So Ella's losing her virginity in the movie, and I'm not even kidding you when I say it's the very first scene. And when she signed on to do this, they agreed that it would be a closed set. And then when she gets on there, Cole just has the entire crew watching her. Disgusting.
The only tourist stop I made, Buc-ee's. One of the most overstimulating experiences of my life. How would I describe this? A grocery store / souvenir shop with food and gas. That's what she is. But I can officially say that I have been to Buc-ee's. My car would have been filling up with gas at that point. Restroom has been used. And I have this thing where my car was like, you're running out of gas. But the nearest gas station is in 40 miles. And I only had 30 miles on my car before the gas would run out. And I was like, that doesn't make sense, because usually if you're about to like pass an exit and that's the last exit for a long stretch of road, it will say like last exit for whatever amount of miles. And it didn't say that. So I knew that my map was just like not recognizing that there are stations, and thankfully there was a Buc-ee's, so I was able to get gas. So we're gonna hit the road again. I'm gonna give you my updates and my thoughts on the book that I'm reading. What's it called? Smile for the Cameras. Because I do have thoughts. I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I thought would happen. And I think this is marketed as like a horror thriller or something like that. But truthfully, what I would tell you is that it's more of a murder mystery, and I'm imagining the portion that I've gotten to is now the thriller aspects of it, because it's a movie and my girl is a final girl. I'm imagining that's what's going on, but I'm really enjoying it. Even if I think portions of it are heavy-handed and predictable, it is very much giving And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. And I don't think it's marketed that way, but that's what it's reminding me of. So I'm gonna finish that audiobook. I'm on the I-95 for 450 of the 600-mile road trip today, and I believe I am in South Carolina. So I'm gonna hit the road again, and I will see you all at my next stop.
Lighting is shit, but I can't control that. That's like, is what it is. As I'm in a little bit of traffic, I want to tell you I'm almost done with Smile for the Cameras. I am still really enjoying it, even though I think parts of it are heavy-handed. But my feelings about a character in this book has changed a lot. Initially, I was like, oh, so cute. And then this character says something that's really fucking stupid. It's like, in comparison to The Secret, their biggest regret is the way a relationship ended. And all I can say is, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. And now we're in a scene where all I can hear in my head is, I heard that you're an actor, so act like a stand-up guy. And I think that is what's happening. Because, no, they are giving Disturbed. And there's this scene where it's in the past and she's talking about like losing her virginity following our heroine, Ella. And it's at the wrap party, and she had made the decision to do that before the wrap party, but they're having a bunch of drinks. It's very obvious to me that the drinks are drugs, and I don't like that, and I really have a lot of suspicions about exactly what the fuck is happening. I don't think many of them will survive. I think it's going to end up a very specific way, but I'm also just like, wow, the switch up was great. Just like I think of some of the heavy-handedness of the story, the way that this character is slowly revealed to us was masterful. Like, the way that change happened and the seeds of doubt were planted were so subtle that it's only an hour for me away from the end of the story, and I'm like, and suddenly I'm suspicious, and suddenly all the pieces are clicking together because I heard you're an actor, so act like a stand-up guy is what's going on. I'm gonna finish the story. I'm gonna let you know my thoughts. I'm not surprised, but there was like this really surprising moment, not in terms of like shocking, but like that's weird. I'm questioning if Ella is an unreliable narrator, just given the context of the story and just some things that she has said that in our flashbacks we just know are not true. In addition to that, I would also say that I have this moment in the story where Ella doesn't recognize Monica, who is a character, but the thing is, Monica was so horrifically mean and cruel to her throughout the movie that it was shocking to me that she wouldn't recognize her. Like, why does Ella not recognize Monica? Like, that's crazy to me, because I would remember someone who called me a no-talent hack who was ruining the movie. I would remember that. Unreliable narrator. I'm gagged. Y'all, what the? I can't even tell you what just happened. Oh my god. I'm gonna put spoiler tags right here. Spoiler tags. Throughout the story, we've gotten very, very, very tiny hints that Ella is not as reliable, right? It starts with the wrong memory of who did the prank with Aries. She's like, it was Aries and Riley. It was not. It was Aries and Carlos. And we're in the spoiler section, so you're choosing to watch this part. The secret is that somebody died, right? Like, somebody died and they buried her, and they're like, oh, we can't tell anyone, let's go off. And now they're being hunted down. Like I said, very and then there were none vibes. They're all here for a very specific reason, and the very specific reason is revenge. They have all done something, and they need to be punished for it. They're digging up the body. The whole time, the entire time, we're like, yeah, the person who was buried was Jenny. Jenny is the girl who died. She slipped on the juice at the party, cracked her head open, but she was like, oh, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And obviously hours later passes away, and they're like, ah, what do we do? And they bury her. So now they're getting notes. People on the set have died present day, and it's obvious that they're being hunted down. And the killer leaves very specific instructions, and on the branch that the tree where the body was buried, like underneath that, there's a heart, and within the heart it says dig. So they start digging to make sure that the body is still there, but the body that's there isn't Jenny, it's Petra. And I'm not saying like, oh, Petra just died. She's like, oh my god, it's Petra, what the fuck? And everybody's like, yeah, she's right where we left her. Here's why I'm gooped and gagged. Petra has been with Ella the entirety of the set. Like, the entire book, Petra has been with Ella. And I'm realizing now, Petra has been with Ella because she's in Ella's head. She was never there. And the way I didn't even notice that no one had interactions with Petra at all. Petra has been whispering in Ella's ears, like, oh, and this, and this, and this. And I'm just thinking they're best friends because that's what they were in the past. They get reunited, and Petra Florida's like, hell yeah, like I love, this is my bestie. She's not even alive. She was never even there, y'all. It was not Jenny who died, but Petra, which still leaves the question, where the fuck is Jenny? Because Jenny disappeared, and she was the last person seen on the set, and that was like the last time anyone ever saw her. Like, they launched an investigation, and no one ever found Jenny, but it wasn't Jenny who was dead, it was Petra. So is it Jenny who's the killer? I'm much confused. I need to understand what the fuck is happening, so I'm gonna finish this audiobook. I know who the killer is. I know who the killer is. It hasn't been revealed yet, but oh my gosh, it just came together. I fucking know who it is. This person didn't even cross my mind as the killer. I was like, oh yeah, this person or this person or this person that was mentioned this one time and then never appeared again. Bitch. There was one person who didn't even cross my mind. But this one person played such a critical role in how everyone ended up at the cabin again. I'm gooped. I'm gagged. I had to tell you before it's revealed who the killer is. I'm obviously not gonna tell you because that's a spoiler, but I fucking know who it is.
Okay, Bessie, it's editing me. So I did end up in Raleigh right after this, and I stayed the night and I left early the next morning. But I realized I didn't give you the final updates on my thoughts for Smile for the Cameras. I was correct in that I knew who the killer was. I did really enjoy this. I'm gonna say it's a solid 4-star read for me. I was super entertained, and while I don't think it's the perfect thriller, I still thought it was a lot of fun. So welcome to day 2 of my return home to Florida, where I cut out a lot of the road tripping because you've seen so much of me driving in this video. So we're in Orlando. It's my final stretch home, and I am reading Island Witch.
I can officially say I am back in Orlando, and I switched to the other audiobooks. I'm listening to Island Witch, which is following Amara, and Amara is the daughter of someone who does, like, I don't want to say witchcraft, but he does like healing and spells, and like if you're having an issue with a demon or possession or things like that, then Amara's father takes care of it. And we're in Sri Lanka, and the British have invaded. Everyone's converting to Christianity. And her family's like being outcast, right? They're like, you're a witch, your family's evil, very much like witch hunt vibes. Mara has this boy named Ram who she is in love with, right? They've been dating for 2 years, and he's like, yeah, like when my father does this or my father does that, then I'll ask for permission to marry you and we could be together forever. And I love you so much. But as the reader, we know that Ram's a piece of shit. Like, for real. This man is so misogynistic, and there's only one thing he wants from Amara, and it's to have sex with her. And he is constantly putting pressure on her and saying, don't you love me, or it's just hard to wait. And a man has needs, and like if his needs aren't met, then loose women take advantage because he's weak, and it's really the fault of like the women for not giving the men what they need. We all know this man is a piece of shit. But Amara is an 18-year-old girl, and she's been dating this man since she was 16. So she's like, no, he loves me. I'm like, baby girl, no, he was never gonna marry you, and he does not love you. He wants to fuck you. Like, that is his only interest. And she knows that she cannot sleep with this man unless they're engaged, right? Unless they're getting married, and she has that security, because she understands that there is so much at risk for her if she did that. But then she's dealing with all of the grief and stress of what's going on in her life, and because this man is a piece of shit, I just know, where this is going. And this book is all about supporting women's wrongs. It fucking is. Every single one of the men got what they deserved. Every single one of them. And I sincerely hope that Ram also gets what he fucking deserves at the hands of Amara. There's so many people here who are so awful, but the author is doing it masterfully because there's layers to them, right? There's not only layers to them and their behavior, there's also layers to the history and context and situations that they're in and what's leading to this behavior and political maneuvering and all these things, etc., etc. But still, I am hoping for this man's downfall. And the demon thing that's going on is called the Yakuza. And Amara believes that there's a Yakuza behind all these things, and Amara is very much grappling with this. And like, but is the Yakuza wrong? Is she wrong? She's only going after men who do very, very, very terrible things to women. And again, I would say, and I'm not saying he deserved it, but this is a fictional book with fictional consequences in this fictional world. Meaning the world of the book, nothing else. And so I am saying that they deserve it. I'm rooting for the Yakuza. Take them down, baby girl. Take them down.
And so, besties, by this point, I have been driving for almost 20 hours in the past, like 2 days alone. So I obviously forgot to end the video. I did go ahead and finish Island, which I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I think that this book is so much about female rage and just like the way that men and the patriarchy really attacks women, but also having deeper conversations about colonialism and religion. And I just really, really loved it. I loved Amara as a character. I loved seeing her journey, even though it absolutely broke my heart in every possible way. It's not a happy ending, so just like know that, but I still think that it was so impactful and so powerful. I stand by what I said in this video. They got what they deserved. They got what they deserved. And there's a scene with a crucifix where I was like, damn. And when I found out who the Yakuza was, baby girl, I was in here. I was like, yes. Period, queen. Whomst am I to deny her the right to this? Just like warning for sexual assault here, please be mindful of that, because this is going to be a theme in the story and in the book, and just the things that Amara is experiencing. And I think that if I sat down and analyzed this book a little bit more, I would better understand the metaphor and the things that the author is truly saying behind the story. But it was a 5-star read for me. I am back in Orlando now. All of my stuff is back with me. I had a fantastic but very, very quick trip to New York. It was only a week. So thank you so much for watching, besties. I know I've been gone for a little while, but I am planning to be back at least every week on this channel for the next month or so, bare minimum. So thank you so much for bearing with me. Thank you for everyone who has supported me thus far, and I'm going to see you in my next video at some point next week. Bye.